Soccer has a numbering system that not only describes the players' current positions, but their roles and responsibilities within that position. You don't have to use all 11 numbers available in soccer. You can use a selection of numbers based on your formation. The first number we have is the goalkeeper. They're number 1. Then we have in the number 2 slot our right back. And then in the number 3 spot, a left back. They provide width on the field. And then we have 2 central backs, a 4 and a 5. Now you'll see this is a 4-back positional formation, and that way we have utilized all of these numbers, but I wouldn't have to do that. We then have what's called a defensive mid, or a 6. Their job is to play as a midfielder but be defensive in nature. And then the number 7 provides width as a right winger. They may come back defensively and help, but they're going to get up the field and provide width and then service into the box. On the left-hand side, we don't go to 8, but we jump all the way to number 11. So that'll be our outside back on that side. And then at the very top of our formation, a striker, central player who's just basically their role is to score goals. They're the number 9. Underneath these positions, we have an 8. An 8 is what's called a box-to-box midfielder, meaning they're going to run from this box to this box. They're usually centrally located. And then we have our 10. These usually are your playmakers, your decision makers, your field generals, the ones who can pass the ball the best. They create the attack. They're going to be a more attack-focused player, but they're going to be centrally located with less responsibility to come as deep defensively. They may only come to here instead of all the way to the box to provide defensive coverage. Now, as we transition to different formations we play and different numbers of players, I'll show you how those numbers connect. When we're playing 4v4, we would like you to have a diamond formation. So what we'll have is a center back, and you will have your left and right wingers, and then you will have your striker. Left and right wingers will come back defensively and help. In reality, they'll come in like this. This player will hang near the top, pivot left and right, looking for an opportunity to get the ball while these players work. And then when they come up the field together, the 7 and the 11 wingers will come out here in their channels and lanes, and this player will push up, and this will be your 4 players in that number set. When we play 5v5, the only difference is you add a goalkeeper. So 5v5 is exactly the same. When we move to 7v7, a very common formation will be to have 2 center backs, because they're covering just the 2 of them back there. So you'll add the 4 and the 5. It's a good time to note that higher numbers go towards the top. So your 5, your 3, and your 11 are up here, where you have your 2 and your 4 and your 7 on the right side of the screen here. We'll have a box-to-box midfielder who runs box-to-box, and then you'll have your 9 attacker at the top who's hovering. These players will come back defensively as well to help. So as they move the field, it'll look something like this, ideally, if they were playing perfect positions, which they won't, but that's okay. Maybe it looks something like this as they come up the field, creating that connectivity and still using the same number system for their role. As we move into 9v9 soccer, you'll notice we've gotten rid of one of our center backs now, because now we're going to play with our left and right backs, essentially. We have a 2 down here and a 3, meaning they're the outside defensive players. And we've added a 6 in, a defensive midfielder, along with our 7-11. And then you'll notice we have 2 9s. 2 players whose role it is to score goals and stay near the top of our formation. So as they move the field, the 9s obviously will be in the attack looking to score. The 7, the 11 will be on the outside. The 6 will be hovering. The 3s will push up a little bit to provide more support. The 2s and the 3s will. And then the 4 will come and basically play the center back position in the attacking zone. Now you don't have to have this exact formation, and so therefore you might have different numbers. So for example, what if we got rid of our 6 and got rid of one of our 9s? We could put in 2 center backs and have 2 8s, meaning that they're going to be box-to-box midfielders. And so what we end up here with is a 3-4-1 kind of formation, 3 backs, 4 midfielders, and an attacker. But now it's more clear that these 2 players are going to be pushing up together, providing the width. And it looks a little different, but we see how you can play different positions with the same numbers on the field. And so it looks kind of similar, but a little bit different in how they're structured. You don't have 2 people in the box now all the time, unless a player chooses to make a run, but you still are providing that number set, and those numbers are still meaningful. Here is a list of different positions and some details about each of those positions, about what they should be able to do on the soccer field if they're playing that position. Just because a player's not currently able to do everything you see on this doesn't mean they shouldn't play that position, because every team is different and every player's growth, development, and skill will be different. But we have our number 1 as our goalkeeper, our 2 and our 3 are our outside backs, left and right, 4 and 5 are our center backs, 6 are defensive midfielder, 8 is a center midfielder, the 7 and 11s are wingers or right and left wingers, our 10 is our attacking center midfielder, and their 9 is our striker or our forward.